Good morning, Larry.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it. And I want to congratulate you on your success. You have worked really hard to be a healthier man, and you're doing great as a father. I'm really impressed with you. Can you talk to me a little bit about some of your earlier attempts to get sober before this time?
Long time ago, when I first started noticing myself getting bad in my addiction, I first went to my parents and they got me into a rehab, and of course I wanted to do outpatient because I didn't want to get stuck inside an inpatient rehab with people that I didn't feel like I fit in with, because I always thought at first I was better than them. So I did that, and of course within like 2 weeks of me messing with the rehab, I relapsed, and I finally put myself into a detox and went to inpatient, but it was always a short-term rehab, and it was supposed to be 21 days, and within like 16 days they kicked me out, not on bad terms, but because they seen I was making good progress and felt like I was good to go, and I didn't have enough time and like work the steps with the sponsor to actually become stable enough to get out. So I immediately would relapse when I would get out, and then of course it slowly progressed to me getting locked up and then being court ordered to go to rehabs, and then I got put into a long-term treatment, and I was getting kicked out of the rehab for just being immature and not like manning up and taking this stuff seriously, and every time I relapsed, and it always led me back going to prison or jail.
Well, what made this time different than the previous attempt?
Well, I was in county jail, and then I was in Class D, and I was joking around a lot, and I kept wanting to get high in there, and I eventually got caught because I was wanting to get high while I was in the Class D. So it put me behind the fence into an actual prison, and then it made it to where I was cut off from my family because I was so far away, and I didn't get no visits for like a year, and it really got hard on me being away from like my wife and my mom and not being able to see them when I wanted. So it had become harder on me, and it had become more stressful on me, not just like the environment of the people I was with, but like emotionally for me, just not being with my family, and I finally got tired of it that way.
So what was your motivation? You mentioned family. Was that part of your motivation?
Yeah, and then for myself, and like my mom would get like real stressed out about me being in there, and then just like for myself, like I got tired of being in there, and I would just like lay there and just feel real depressed, and I wouldn't even act myself, and if I was just putting on a front, so other people thought I was cool and happy with being in there, but really I wasn't.
Well, you know, you've been out for a little while now, a little over a year,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
So what has helped you stick with this recovery plan that you have had for the last year and a couple months?
Of course, like I have a daughter now, so that's a big one, but I always stay in contact with the people in the prison on JPay, so it always like gives me a reminder of how bad it is in there and how much I did not like it, and I always try to just always think back to where I was and where I've become now, and just see how much my life has changed and how much better it is compared to being in there.
Well, I know that you have decided to take the Vivitrol injections that you started when you were in treatment. So what prompted you to do that and make that decision?
Because the original reason was because I got a promoted contraband charge when I was in the county jail. I knew it would increase my chances on me making parole. And then also, with me, every time I've gone to rehab or got locked up, within like a week, couple weeks or a month, I've relapsed. I wanted something to give me some like assurance to where if I were to get high, it would be literally pointless. So I just wanted something to back me up, just in case something were to happen, you know?
Okay. Did your family play a role in that decision?
No. I was in SAP, and they show educational video on it, and I immediately knew what it was because I had seen it, and when I lived in St. Louis, I've heard about it and I've seen people take it. So I knew what it was, and I was already comfortable with taking it. So I just did it for myself,
Do they know you're on it now?
Yeah, and my family and my wife's parents and my mom are all like really supportive of me taking it.
Wonderful. How did you educate them about it?
I just pretty much just told them it takes all my cravings away, and that it makes it to where if I were to slip, I couldn't literally get high, so I would just be doing it for no reason, and the main reason was really just it takes my desire, my cravings away.
Okay. I'm always interested in how families communicate when it's concerned into a recovery plan such as yours, where you chose Vivitrol. So do you all have discussions about it, or is it something you don't discuss?
No, I mean, the only time we'll really discuss it is if it's like at the end of the month. My mom will text me or FaceTime me, and she'll just be curious. Oh, have you taken your shot? Or when are you taking your shot? Or something like that. That's usually the only discussion is about it. Or my stepdad, he's alcoholic, but he's been in recovery for 8 years, and he's been just working the steps, and he's asked about it, and he's done like research about it also, and he was curious of how it like takes my cravings away.
Okay. Other than the Vivitrol injections, has there been anything else that you've utilized, any tools that you've utilized to maintain your recovery?
Yeah, I go to like NA and AA meetings, and those, I get stuff out of it, like the newcomer meetings, but the main thing is just like my support group, the people around me that are clean and that will like back me up on staying clean and aren't going to try to peer pressure me into doing something.
Okay. You know, you've done really, really well. Like I said before, I'm so proud. And I wanted to give you a chance now to brag on yourself, okay? Because you have a lot to brag about. So brag on yourself for a little bit and tell me how, how your life has changed for the better since you've been in recovery.
Well, when I got out of prison, within a month of me getting out, I got me a new car. It was a BMW, and within 2 months, I got out of my mom's house. I got a townhouse, got my own place. I have my own business, a tattoo business, and I had clientele already from before I went in. There were people that waited for me for the whole 2 years I was in to get out to be able to work on them. And I feel like my work has gotten better since I was in there. I would practice like my drawing as if I was doing a tattoo, and it really helped me a lot. And with the people coming and social media, it has, like, the word of mouth has spread my business out more than I could ever imagine it being. And once tax season came around, I got extremely busy to where I was tattooing to 4 in the mornings, a few times till 8 or 9:30 in the morning the next day. And I bought a second BMW. I bought a BMW X5, and I figured for the next 3 months of tax season, my business was gonna stay really busy, and then it was gonna taper down because I was making literally $10,000 a month, $2,500 every single week, and consistently. And I didn't even get to really spend the time with my family because I was tattooing so hard, but I was expecting it to slow back down, so I was trying to accumulate as much like income as I could while I could. And from having so much different clients coming and like word of mouth, it never slowed down. Even the tattoo shop in this town shut down because I was getting so many clients coming in, and it never stops, and I do it every single day of my life. And I switched from my townhouse. I got me a house now. I have 2 cars. I have a whole family, and my wife can be stay-at-home mom because I make enough for her and the baby and everybody. So I'm just like self-sufficient now because of it.
Seems like you've got a cool little recipe going on like a recovery plan. So who do you think's prouder of you?
My mom.
Why?
Because she's seen me. Well, in high school, I didn't do one drug. I played baseball. I wrestled. I drank one time when I was 16, and I didn't never do anything. So when this started happening, she didn't know what it was, and then I finally told her, and it shocked her. But they knew something was going on with me, and so it stressed her out the most to see me like pretty much killing myself using heroin, and every time I'd go to rehab, she always had in the back of her mind I was just going to do it again. She hoped I wouldn't, but she always thought that I would. And for me to go this long, which is the longest I've ever been, it's not just a shocker, but she's really happy that I'm not where I was. Instead of her feeling like I'm safe because I'm in jail and I can't get high, she knows I'm safe at home.
All right. Awesome. Well, I think it's pretty safe to say you're a good example of a good example. But I am curious, have you had any cravings or urges since you've been out?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I get them. I'll be driving and I can get them, but it seems like the cravings are like really faint. Like if I have them, like back in the day, a craving would last. Like if I got it in my head, I'd sit there for like sometimes a long time until I would do it, like at least 30 minutes. Sometimes it would last. And now I'll see something that'll like trigger me. I'll think about it, and no faster than like I change the radio, it's like out of my head, and it just don't even like it fazes me like it used to.
What would you say to someone who is considering starting the Vivitrol injections?
I try to get people to do it all the time. Actually, I just tell them that it takes all your cravings away. It's like you've never like had an addiction before. So you say like, oh, it sucks, you know how it is in your head, but it's like you were never like that. So I always have them try to think of how they were before they were getting high and tell them that, I mean, it's not that hard to be back to where they were again.
Okay. Well, one of the wonderful things that I've noticed is your confidence. You know, I'm really impressed by this. What do you think that helped you find this confidence?
Just, I feel like my success, the biggest thing I'm proud of me about is staying out of like jail or prison, because I've never went, ever since I got in trouble the first time in 2010, I've never went even a year without going back. So with me being able to show that I can stay out and do it the right way and stay out and be successful I've been like, that's probably my biggest motivator, and that's why I'm so confident, because I know that I was the lowest as anybody could be, and I've come a long way.
Yes, you have. Absolutely, you have. Congratulations, Larry.
Thank you.
I'm really, really happy for you. And thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me today and sharing some of your experiences. That's just priceless.
Thank you.
So, thank you again.
Well,